There's a reason for every season. I stay very in tune with nature, and I've found that my life pretty much moves in tune with the seasons that we go through. And right now we are in May, so we just went through the April showers brings May flowers time period and how that relates to life. Typically, the April showers are a season of loss. If you think about fall, fall is when the leaves on the trees start to turn kind of brown and then they start to fall away in winter. And then there's like silence in nature and it's kind of still and quiet, and most of the leaves are bare on trees. There's always a few leaves that hang on, and they hang on really tight. And then those April showers come and just like wash away those leaves that were holding on really tight. And for me, and this has happened multiple times in my life, that I have the biggest losses in April and then kind of into the first week of May, because it's the leaves that I'm holding on to the tightest that I don't want to let go of, or that are holding on to me. It's that connection. I don't know if you can hear the birds. It's that connection that's really tight, that requires like a big storm to come through and force the release of the leaf from the tree. But in thinking about nature, that happens because it has to make room for that new bud to bloom, right? For there to be new flowers and new leaves and fruit, the old leaves have to fall away. So in my life, I recently got laid off from my job. And then a week and a half later, my cat Simon, who I've been with for 20 years, passed away. And in a way, the fact that the two happened back to back was a gift because it made losing the job insignificant. My cat Simon has been with me for 20 years. I always called him my soul cat because I always felt like he was my soulmate. One of the reasons I'm vegan is because I feel like all animals and humans are souls just in a different meat suit. We all just have different kind of vessels that we come into this 3D reality in, and but we're still souls nonetheless. And my cat Simon was the deepest connection I've had, I think, with a pet, with an animal, and or another, not another living being, because like my mom, my brother, my family, but I just truly had such a special bond with him. And I'm just now able to even really communicate about it because it took me a good like week just to process it. It's painful. It's so painful. I never wanted to lose him. I never wanted to let him go. And I was that tree that was just holding on to that leaf for dear life. And the storm came and was like, it's time. It's time. You have to let him go. And when it's time, there's kind of nothing you can do but release. And so that's what happened. And I'm devastated. But because I stay in alignment with nature, I'm also aware that, like, if I allow my branch to dry up and scab over, I won't leave room for new leaves or flowers to bloom and grow. So if you're watching this and you recently went through something where you went through loss, which probably a lot of you did because that's what the season is, it's really important, and I'm telling this to you and myself, it's really important to stay open to the new opportunities, the new relationships, the new growth that's going to come into your life, because it's now the season for that. So that's also what makes, I think, the tightest bonds and the April showers brings May flowers the toughest one, because when you lose the leaves in the winter, you have the winter months to kind of heal from it before spring comes. But when you lose that really strong bond in April, the new opportunity comes right away. And so it can be a little bit jarring to kind of do such a fast pivot in life, but that is the season, and that is sometimes how it goes, and that's how it's gone for me this year. So I am trying to recognize and stay in alignment with nature and be like, okay, that was really painful. But I also had all of the winter months to prepare and to know that it was coming and to emotionally prepare and mentally prepare. And I am now starting to formulate my mind, like, what are my next steps? What's my next chapter? Where am I going to go next? And I've already been thinking I'm probably going to move. I've been wanting to move for a very long time, but I was staying here for the job. And so that probably is going to be my next chapter, which I'm now able to do. So we will see. We will see. It's the early part of spring. So if we stay in alignment with nature, then, the buds are kind of starting to formulate, the flowers are starting to open up. And if they're going to form into fruit, those will then, you reap the harvest, right, in the summer and in the fall. So that would be in a couple of months from now. So yeah, stay in tune with nature. It allows you to understand that there's a reason for every season and to just keep moving through the cycles of life, which is what I am trying to do. So I hope that this video found you well, and I hope you'll join me on this journey to see kind of what the next chapter brings. So I don't have to go on it alone because now I don't have Simon. So yeah, that's where we're at.